and welcome to another episode of LTN Pulse, a podcast where we have conversations with LTN staff, missionaries, and high-level volunteers to dig into and discover what they are reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in nerd culture. LTN Pulse is a part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network. I'm your host, Michael. I'm a podcast producer, Twitch streamer, and amateur to mid-tier guitar tech / luthier. Sometimes yes, other times very much not so. Joining me today, as always, is...
Hey, I'm Luke. I am the director of missions at Love Thy Nerd. And lately, I have been addicted. So, don't get me wrong. I am an iPhone, or like a mobile gamer, you could call me. I like a good, just nonsense iPhone game. And lately, I have been addicted to the game Capybara Go. Don't hate me. But I'm a little adventuring capybara, and it's excellent. So you should download it. Not a sponsor, but that's what I'm addicted to lately. It's great. And while you're downloading that, let me introduce the one, the only, Kyle. Kyle, how are you?
I'm good. Speaking of mobile games, I recently started replaying a game that I swore off forever. And that is Marvel Strike Force.
Oh, dude, don't get me started.
Casual at it.
Is that basically just a gotcha for Marvel?
It's I don't pay for it. I just do the free things as much as possible, and then wait for my energy to replenish, and then I'd play it again. So I haven't touched it today, but like I just picked it up again a month ago.
Oh, dude, don't tell me that. I have to go download it again. Actually, I don't think I've ever deleted it. I think it's still on my phone.
It's like Napster. It's probably there. So.
I'm not kidding. I played for 1,000 days straight. Did not miss one day. I poured money into it. I never did the I'm going to do $100, but like I definitely was just like, dude, $10 here, $10 there. Just like, give me this little boost, give me this character. So I put some money into it, but like our clan or group or whatever, like guild,
alliance. It's your alliance.
It was like another part-time job. We all had requirements. I had to log in at a certain time to do like our mission, like to attack other alliances. Yeah. It was insane. And it got to the point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. But I loved that game. I played it like the day one when it came out till 1,000 days after that. I legitimately hit.
If there's a game that has the Marvel name attached to it, Luke, you're all over it. That's what I've learned.
There is one. There's the third one. So there's Ultimate Alliance, or not Ultimate Alliance, Strike Force. There's Snap, and then there's like Galactic Conquest or something.
I don't know that one.
I didn't play that one. It's like the Candy Crush of Marvel. I didn't play that.
That's
one.
A bridge too far. Could do a match 3 game.
Yeah. There's our title, the Candy Crush of Marvel.
Here we
go. Making Matt's job easier. Anyway, Kyle, who are you? Yeah. What do you do at LTN?
To put a little flair on what I do, I had a friend tell me, he called me the sage of the numerical page. So that's my D&D name for I am the business CFO cards at Love Thy Nerd.
Yes,
I got all the numbers, so
that's amazing. That's your title.
I do the day in and day out accounting. I make sure that everyone turns in their receipts and that we have money for payroll and you know all the while just making sure we can go on conventions and all the fun stuff that we do, and to be able to have podcasts and the radio station and all that stuff. So
So what you're saying is LTN would not exist if you weren't around. That's what I'm picking up on.
False. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
We would owe
that,
someone so much money is what you're saying.
I kept it running for a long time because I'd been around. What are we, 6.5 years? Is that what we're at now? 6.5? Are we at 7 almost? We're at 7, right? Coming up on it.
I think so. Yeah.
I've been around since day one, but not in the capacity that I'm in now. So,
Yeah. You've been like, I stumbled upon LTN. You've been around A1 since day one.
Yeah, I was rooted out by Chris Wald. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Can you help in some capacity?" And I said, "Yeah." So
Nice. That's cool. I didn't know. Were you tied to them like beforehand then? Like, did you do anything?
I went to high school with Chris.
Oh,
Chris and I have been friends
vaguely-
since we were in the 7th grade. We
Nice.
played 7th grade football, but didn't really play 7th grade football. We just sat on the sideline and watched the other guys play football. So
that sounds like my kind of football.
it was, we got very little playing time as 7th grade.
Oh, hey man.
So
It's still football. It's like
yeah.
at the time of this recording, we had the sports ball tournament yesterday.
It's the
Also
big
known
convention.
as the big convention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The big
Also known
game.
as the
We can't say
Superb
it.
Owl.
Yeah, because the name of it is copyrighted. Well, we can probably say it in a podcast, but you can't publish it anywhere.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
the
I
name
didn't know that.
like is owned. It's a trademark owned by the NFL. So if you want to say it in a commercial or any kind of like commercial
They pay $30
broadcast
million.
environment, you have
Oh,
to pay them
dude.
big money for it. It's messed up.
That
That's why
blows my
commercials are
mind
like-
a little bit.
Yeah, when it's like you have to get when you want to get your house ready for the big game. That's why they say the big game.
Yo.
Yeah,
Dude.
I like it.
I legit like, okay, again, everyone's going to hear all this stuff we talk about before the podcast. I was talking about pizza. I picked up pizza today and on the box it said like big game. And I like thought of that of just like, why does everything say like the big game? Like, why don't people just print this? Oh, I said it. Can we bleep that out?
We're demonetized.
Yeah, you should bleep everything.
Oh, that
Oh
would be
my God.
fantastic.
I like it.
So yeah, censored. Our first censored episode. All
Absolutely.
because Kyle's here.
Yeah, you're the
So
one
you gotta
who's
start
saving us
somewhere.
money here. Come on.
Yeah, now we own that. Not own. We owe the NFL money now. So Kyle, can you take care of
Let's
that?
not. They're going to send Guido after us to break our
Oh,
kneecaps
no.
for that $30 million for that 10-second spot. So
Oh, that's great, Kyle. I didn't know. I vaguely remember you saying you were connected to Chris, but
yes,
you're still here.
I knew Chris, and then I met Matt Warmbier not long after graduating high school because he attended college in the town that I lived in. So, but we were we were acquainted, but like we didn't hang out all the time. And then 10 years later or
Yes.
something, I saw him again at Gen Con, and then I got looped back into this whole
That's funny.
thing. So
You're saying this, and I'm thinking, who from high school / college would I want to pull into LTN? And I don't want to do that to anyone.
no names on the list. Huh? Okay.
I can't do that to any of my LTN peeps here. Nobody wants to see my
I love it.
high school friends. I'll have to apologize all the time. Well, cool, Kyle. I'm stoked to have you on this episode because like
I'm happy to be here. It's kind of
CFO?
exciting, so.
this whole show series podcast episode thing that we do started because we wanted to like dive into LTN like staff and volunteers and all of that, so to kind of shed some light on the people behind it. And so not many people will think of a CFO when they think of an organization or a company or anything. And so I'm just stoked to have you.
I mean, I'm here. I'm in the background always.
The
so.
sage himself.
Sage Miracle Page.
Yes. Calculating. He's the hooded figure with an abacus in the
That
shadows.
is the guy.
Just
Another buddy from high school gave me that name. I don't know why. I don't remember how. I think I emailed him something, and I was just goofing around, and he gave me a nickname. And he likes to rhyme things, and so he just came up with that, and I was like, "Dude, that is gold."
Yeah,
yeah.
That is gold.
I love it.
I like it. So let's dive into this here and hear like what you've been up to lately in nerd culture. Do you happen to be reading anything?
Yes and no. Yes, because
sounds like a typical episode of ours.
About a year ago for Christmas, my family of all sorts, I think in-laws, combination of people, they got me the Witcher 1 and 2 books in the series.
Yes.
I already have Witcher 3 or 3 and on because my wife somehow picked them up at some like half-price book thing where you could just put them in like a box, and whatever you could fit in the box, you paid $10 for. So I don't know, but they had all those, and I wanted the first two. So I'm in the middle of book 2. Additionally, I got the entire what has been released for A Song of Fire and Ice, so Game of Thrones. I have not even cracked one of those yet because I just haven't found the time to sit and read.
Yeah.
I have time to do other things, of course, but like I really want to sit down with those because I watched the entire series, and now I just want to forget that and just focus in on what the books have to offer. So
now you're going to be a little more familiar than I am. My wife got most of the books after or during like while I was playing Witcher 3. She was like, "This is dope," and the first season of Witcher had like just come out or was coming out. We love Henry Cavill and so she's like, "I'm getting the books." The books aren't like they're not like in order. So you can do some jumping around, right?
Kind of. I'm trying to read them in the order that they were released, but they're not. It's like the show. The show jumped, and you kind of had to figure out like when was it? Like you had to piece the episodes together chronologically. The books early on were really close. Like the show stuck really close to the books for the most part. They kind of jumbled some things that took place, but like I feel like they did a really good job keeping to it for the most part. They did jump the shark a little while later, which is, I mean, the whole controversy behind that show. It's because, I mean, but no, it was. I read the first. Oddly enough, I read the first book and most of the third one because I got the third one first, and I just started reading it, and I was like, oh, it's different because the first one it feels like short stories.
Yes.
The third one is more. It's still kind of jumbled, but it's more of a narrative than the first one. I feel like so it's slightly different, but no, you could probably jump in and be like, oh, I'm not really missing anything because I feel like I'm just seeing a snippet of this scene in a play and start to finish. But then I go back and read things, and now I have to try and put things in chronological order from there. But yeah, I mean, you could start anywhere essentially, except I probably wouldn't start at the very end because I feel like they get to that point at some point. So, but yeah.
Nice. So, what are you you're watching anything, binging any shows?
I thought about this. I was like, what have I been watching it lately? So there's a newer show. I guess it's a new show. It's on ABC. It's called High Potential. It stars Caitlin Olsen. From It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I love It's Always Sunny. This is a different character. It's like a procedural drama about this woman who I think she has obsessive compulsive disorder, but basically she is a wellspring of knowledge about all kinds of things, and she draws on that wellspring to help solve crimes with this police department. And it's just kind of, I always like that kind of quirky character kind of thing, like House MD, same thing. I like the quirky character who's kind of like, they know a lot of stuff, and they're also kind of like weird and kind of on the fringe of things. So
but
that's
they're
been
like
fun.
always the smartest person in the room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just
House,
like it.
that's psych for me.
Yeah, I was about to ask,
like-
does it give big psych vibes? Because I feel like it's got to give some psych vibes with that description.
Absolutely. It's kind of that way. Psych was a little sillier. There was like that, back and forth between Sean and Gus and all the fun one-liners. And it doesn't have so much as that, but it's still good. My wife and I have been digging on that.
Where's it streaming?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
So ABC, Hulu.
Okay, yeah. I might have to check it out.
And then my
Sounds
wife and I, we took a break from it, but we went back to it. Abbott Elementary. Oh gosh, I love Abbott Elementary. It's so funny. So, those are like the things that we've been watching lately. And then my kids are finally old enough. They're 10. I told them when they were 10, we could start the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we have gone through, and we're doing it in chronological order, not cinematic order.
Okay.
So we're just about to get to Age of Ultron. And I'm just like, wait, it's been like 3 weeks since we've watched one, and I'm just waiting to jump into it because I'm like, we're ready. We've been there. Let's go. And my daughter's just like, I don't know if I want to watch it tonight. And I was like, you're killing me. Just we still have like 20 movies to get through. So
what a time to be alive where we can have like this massive collection of movies. Like, no, we're going to watch them in chronological order, not cinematic order.
Yeah, that's the nerdiest thing I've ever heard. But also correct.
My wife and I were like, that's what we have to do. I mean, that's we didn't do that when we went leading up to Infinity War and Endgame. We just watched the movies that dealt with the Infinity Stones. Because we were like, we just wanted to know where the Infinity Stones were. We didn't care about the rest of it.
And you didn't have like 5 weeks to research. And
that means you would have had to watch Dark World.
Dude.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Dude, we watched it with the kids. I think I fell asleep. I know it's my least favorite.
I've never seen it.
Great. Yeah.
So
it's fine. I watched it in theater probably.
Yeah.
I was hyped about it at the time, but now it's just like, it's a movie. If you fall asleep, that's fine. But no, that sounds
Sunday afternoon nap movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that sounds awesome. Exactly that's like I have fond memories of like watching Star Wars with my dad growing up, and that was like him, I was probably around the same age, like 10, and him sharing that with me. I have like really good memories chilling on our couch eating a bag of Doritos, like and I've thought that of like with our future kids, like me sitting down, like that's the MCU for me.
Yep.
And so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm trying to do Lord of the Rings as well, but I don't think the attention span is quite there yet for Lord of the Rings. So
what about Star Wars?
And you have to do extended edition too. So,
Absolutely. We did start on Star Wars. We watched we did them in chronological order.
Okay.
But I don't remember us getting past episode 3. I don't think we went past, and I was like, guys, episode 3 is kind of like a big deal. Like, and I just don't remember doing it. Yeah. And then I was like, well, we're about to get into the Holy Trinity, the original trilogy thing.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah. TM, Holy Trinity TM. But like, I mean, I still watch those movies and like am in awe of them because they just hold up, and they're like 50 years old.
Yeah.
And
they are. Aren't
how
they?
dare you? First of all, how dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second, I saw this like short somewhere. I don't even know where I saw it now because TikTok is banned or not. I don't know. Anyways, I saw this video where this content creator was saying like the way to introduce like your kids into Star Wars is first start with the Clone Wars, like, because one, it's a cartoon, so it's like they're gonna love it. They'll hop in and like they'll really grow to love Anakin Skywalker, like as Anakin, and then you get through that, and then you go watch the original trilogy. So now, like, they're for the first time, like, hearing old Obi-Wan talking about Anakin and how Darth Vader killed Anakin. And then in Empire Strikes Back, then they like find out, like now they're like, man, your kids are like, we love Anakin. Like, we hate this Darth Vader guy. He's evil. And then they find out they're the same person. And it's like, then
spoiler alert.
After that, bleep it out.
Bleep it out.
Then you go back and you don't watch episode 6. You go back and watch the first 3, because in episode 3, then you find out like Luke and Leia are siblings, and then that's another bomb drop. And then you go back and I'm like, actually, that sounds like a fantastic way to watch Star Wars for the first time. I do not hate that. And so I think that's what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah.
In 10 years.
So yeah, I've been doing that, and then I got them hooked. On because I like anime. So we're watching Naruto.
Oh my god. I got
them into Naruto. We're like halfway through we're like episode 50 or 60, somewhere in there. And I was like, okay, we got, this is 200 episodes, and then we have 500 episodes of Shippuden. So get ready. So
yeah.
So are you going to do all of Naruto, or are you just going to go up to the Sasuke fight and then swap over?
I'm going to let them lead the way.
Okay.
Because my son's like, Dad, when can we watch Shippuden? And I was like, we have to do this the right way. So we're going to watch the whole thing. And I was like, if I had to do it, you're going to do it. So, yeah. The way
I was brought up in Naruto by friends of mine in college who introduced me to the show. Like I was a fan of anime through a lot of stuff that was on like Adult Swim in the days of yore, like Macross, Cowboy Bebop, Gundam Wing, which was actually, that was Toonami. But anyway, but yeah, so they were like real deal anime nerds and broadened my world, but they introduced me to Naruto, and they're like, all right, here's all of our dope fan subbed ripped, CDs and DVDs, which is the real way to watch Naruto.
Yeah.
Early 2000s fan subs. That's the way to go. But yeah, they were like, basically you're going to hit this episode. Like, and then after that, it's basically all just filler. And this was several years before Shippuden dropped. And then once Shippuden happened, we were all like, here we go. We're back. Let's do it. And then I made it maybe a couple hundred, and I couldn't do anymore. I can't do the epic long anime.
Yeah.
Me neither.
No, I've made it through that once. And I was like, well, I got a couple up my sleeve. I am a casual when it comes to anime. Like, it's just whatever was popular, like, except One Piece. I can't do it. There's too many episodes. So, but
yeah, that
I was
scares
like,
me.
My son was like, "Are there bad words in it?" I was like, "Probably," but I was like, you're 10. Like, we're gonna get to the point where like I can't shield you from bad language anymore. So
I don't know. Naruto stabs himself through the hand in episode 1. So
it's true.
If they
spoilers.
Yeah.
I was just about to watch
people die in this anime, dude. So
yeah.
What?
But that's awesome. I love that. And at least like that gives you hundreds of episodes of hang time with the kids.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So, and they want to watch it. They were begging me yesterday. They're like, Dad, after church, can we watch Naruto? And I was like, okay, we can do it. We got stuff to do. We got 2 episodes. And then episode 2 is down there. Can we watch just one more? I was like, all right. So,
that's awesome.
So, yeah.
I love that. So you're watching a bunch. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's mostly stuff I'm just rehashing. It's nothing new except for high potential. That's the only new
I rewatch stuff. Like, I need something in the background, like while I'm washing dishes or doing laundry or whatever, sending emails. So
I can't tell you how many times I've watched and rewatched The Walking Dead from season 1 to season 5.
Yeah.
Because it was on streaming.
Yeah.
And I just needed something. I just went probably 5 or 6 times easily.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm weird because I watch shows even if I didn't love that. Like, I'm rewatching Suits right now. By the end of it, I like hated that show. Like the ending was awful, and I was just like, "What a terrible show," and I left it. And then I'm like, I need something I could just watch and have in the background. And I started that again. And now it's all over again. I really hate this Lewis guy. Why does this character never develop? And it's like,
Luke, don't be a gooey chocolate chip cookie. All right,
you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
That quote.
That's from Psych.
It is from Psych. Good job.
Nice.
Kyle, don't be this crease in my arm.
It's been too long since I've seen Psych.
I love that
It's
show.
so random, dude.
I love it so much, but I gotta catch it again.
Yeah, dude, you should.
Every episode that we do of LTN Pulse is basically ends up being some sort of reminder to me to watch Psych. It always comes back around to Psych.
It's because it's so good.
Yes,
it is
so good. Speaking of Psych, Kyle, what are you playing these days?
How much time do we got? Board game wise, it's your fault, by the way. Your fault. I have been obsessed, and I've only gotten to the table once. Daitoshi from Devere Games. You were like, Kyle, this game's awesome. It's from Devere, and we played with Tantrum House guys. You should totally buy it. And then I bought it.
No. I didn't tell you to buy it.
What happened. So
I said you would love it, and was I wrong?
Yeah. You weren't wrong. It's probably my 6th favorite board game I got last year in 2024. It could creep up in the top 5.
How many of your top 6? How many were my recommendations?
All of them.
Wait, all of them?
I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe not.
I know it was a lot. I can think of 3.
Was one. Mistwind was another one.
Daitoshi.
Windmill Valley was mine. It was mine. I got that one.
Yeah. That wasn't me.
What else was top 5? River Valley Glassworks. That was, but I taught that one.
Yeah, that was just
Skyrise. Skyrise. I taught that one. So 3 out of 6. That's 50%.
And I knew all 3. There we go.
So, but I've been doing a lot of those. And then I just got my X-Men Dice Throne Kickstarter, and I introduced it to some guys here at work that like board games, and now we play it once a week at lunch. So they're kind of obsessed with it now, which I kind of love.
I'm always the last person to get my Dice Throne Kickstarter.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Just hit up Dice Throne. You know those guys.
I do, and I've done it in the past. Do you order anything extra, like the sleeves or anything?
No, but I'm not. Like if I go to when I go to Gen Con this year.
Good answer.
I'm probably going to buy, I'm going to limit myself to only buying accessories for things and not actual games. I got too many. We got no room. I have to call somewhere.
Sure.
So I might
have anything to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I may splurge on the sleeves and minis for missions, because we haven't broken missions out yet. But I want
missions is great. But I buy all the little extras, and so I have they have to actually piece my order together, which is why I think it's always last.
Yeah, I'm pretty minimalist when it comes to that stuff, and then I have the FOMO, and I'm like, I gotta get that, and then
I'm pretty sure I got Dice or Marvel Dice Throne, the original one, like the tokens for it, and the tokens for this one, and sleeves and all sorts of stuff.
I didn't get the sleeves. I kind of wish I did, because they're pretty cool. But no, I did that, and then I just I have a group I play Marvel Champions with once in a while. We're not successful at it at all, except this past Friday we actually were. So that
Nice.
it doesn't happen. We curated our own decks, and we finally were
It's
able
tough,
to make
man.
it happen. That's the board game side of things. Video game side of things. I'm currently on a quest for the Platinum Trophy for Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. And then as I say, I'm on the quest for the Platinum Trophy. It's a disease. I can't not try for the Platinum Trophy now for games that I love. So it started during COVID, and I think during COVID, I only had 2 before COVID started, and by the time the 2 years of the most intense part of COVID went by, I had 22. So I got 20 in those 2 years, which is
Wow.
not a lot, really. There's some people that are like, I got like 100 last year or whatever. Like, but yeah. So I like to get the Platinum trophies on games. So I'm working on that one currently. And then I have games started for Metaphor Refantasio, which is amazing. And Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. And then I have a backlog that is going to plague me for the rest of my life. I want to play Visions of Mana and the new Tales of Grace's F remaster that just came out. I want to get that and play it. I never played a Tales of game until COVID, and then I've played 5 of them since COVID. So I went out of my way to find them.
Nice.
But yeah,
I like the RPG love here.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot of RP. Last year I only got 4 platinum trophies because I spent most of my time playing. I got the platinum for Star Ocean Second Story R, which took a while. I got the platinum for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and then I got the platinum for Octopath Traveler 2.
Wow.
So they took me a minute. I'm still working on that Tales of Symphonia Remaster Platinum. I've been doing that for about 2 years. I'm on my 4th playthrough of the game, and I just can't do it again. I need to take a break. So, but yeah, I don't even have that many. I think I have almost 40 at this point, and that's not a lot in comparison to some people.
I think technically I only have 1 platinum. Like I've 100%ed games. Spider-Man.
Oh, I got that one too.
I figured. It's
my only
easy
platinum
one.
is, I think, Astrobot, the VR one, the PSVR one. It's potentially my only platinum because it's super easy.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I've also like 100%ed other games, like Tunic in that, but it's all through Xbox, so we don't get.
You see, like if you got Super Monkey Ball, you would platinum that. Because we played that last year. I can't do it, man. You guys are too good at it. I can't do it.
I grew up playing that game, dude, on the GameCube.
So,
dude, it's harder than I remember.
Have y'all seen the speedrunners do Super Monkey Ball?
No,
not Monkey Ball specifically, but all speedrunners are insane. Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
It's true.
No, I don't get the joy of speedrunning. Maybe there's like an adrenaline hit somewhere in there. I just don't get it. But
let me play this game that I love in the shortest amount of time possible.
but also over and over again, tens of thousands of times. Yeah.
Like I can't imagine it. Like just can't like playing.
Kyle's just getting stressed out thinking about it.
So outside it's reeling us back into RPG world. I have a question because you're very much a big RPG guy. Have you ever played Lost Odyssey? It was
I
Xbox
wanted
360.
to. I didn't have an Xbox. I've always had a PlayStation, and it looked cool. And that was back when I had a PS3, and there was a drought of RPGs on the PS3. And I didn't even know Tales of games existed at that point. Otherwise, I probably would have been fine. but all the ones that I would wanted to play were on the Xbox, and I wasn't going to drop the cash for it. So yeah.
Yep. A buddy of mine had that, and I remember seeing it and thinking, like, this looks awesome. Never got a chance to play it, but I'm like, it's kind of like been at the edge of my mind in RPG world. Like, people who have played it really like it. I was hoping, somebody out there get Kyle a 360 and a copy of Lost Odyssey.
I think they remastered it, or it was supposed to be remastered or something. I remember seeing something about it. I was like, oh, maybe it's time. Maybe we can finally do it. For those of us that play on PS5 and are elitists like me, because I don't, I'm not an elitist at all. I just really like PlayStation. So
I'm with you.
If it was a 360 game, you could probably play it. It's probably playable on your laptop.
It's on PC for surprisingly for $25. I'm actually like, I mean, that's not bad, but it's a Xbox 360 game, but it's out there.
The glory days.
Well, I'm waiting because Bandai Namco put up, or it has like a whatchamacallit. They have the domain for Tales of Abyss, which means that I think they're going to do a Tales of Abyss remaster. And it's a game I've never played, and I'm like, yep, that's the next one I got to play. That's the one right there. But I'll never get to my backlog. So like, I've got games that are in my backlog that I played like 20 years ago, and they just re-released them. And I was like, I can get the platinum on these now.
Oh no,
let's go. Like Chrono Cross. Totally want to get the platinum on that. Grandia 2, top 5 JRPG of all time for me. Need to get the platinum trophy on it. Legend of Dragoon, got the platinum trophy on that a year or two ago. Love that game.
Love it. Oh man, I love hearing it. Well, Kyle, as we're getting close to the end here, what's happening in your area of LTN? What do you got coming up in the world of Love Thy Nerd?
So last year was kind of the first year that I actually like engaged outside of coming out of my hole and numbers and what have you. I went to 3 conventions last year with Luke, actually at all 3 of them. I went to Gen Con, which is right in my backyard. So it's like, that's a no-brainer. And then we went up to Strong Tower Con and taught games for a week. And then I wasn't planning this, but then in October, they were like, we need people to go to PAX. And so we went to PAX Unplugged. And I think that actually might be my favorite convention I've been to. Like, out of all the ones so far. My hope, I want to go back to Gen Con. I just like, it's right in the backyard. I can't not go. I want to do more of those this year. They're just fun, and they actually allow me to being the CFO, I don't get to engage a lot of the community outside of the staff. We have staff meetings and stuff like that, but like, I got to go and be a part of the process. I got to go and find that I really liked teaching board games. I thought I was terrible at it, but like the reality is that you get to go and you like whatever you are outside of that place. Like if you're like, I'm kind of an introvert, that can just go to the wayside, because you're all that matters is that you're there. You've got a task to do. You're teaching this game, and you just have to do it the best you can for the publisher you're working for. So you're putting on a show. That's what you're doing. It's time to put on a show, and you get your pitch down and you kind of make them laugh, and it just energizes you. And then after 8 hours of doing that, you're like, man, I could stay up all night doing this. But then 4 days later, you're like, I need to go to bed. Like, it's time. That was super fun. And I got to do that for All Play. And then I got to do it for Roxley Games at PAX Unplugged, which was so fun. So that's my hope, is that I just to get to go on more of these, and more than just the ones I've been to. I'd like to go to other ones. Like, I know we've got Origins coming up in June, and that's one that I'm not signed up to go on, But that would be one that I'd want to hit just to experience it, or even like Grand Con. That would be another cool one to just go and experience, because they're smaller shows, and you've got room to breathe and move around. But that's my hope, to do that kind of stuff with LTN a little bit more. Other than that, I mean, we just kicked off. We reorganized a little bit. So like we have a new entity organization that's going to kind of pick up the ball and run with it. And so we're working on getting, all those things set up, like a bank account and credit cards, all those fun things that we have to deal with. And then, so that's kind of been consuming like my LTN world lately, is like, hey, we started this, we need to kind of set this up and get going. So that's really where I am right now, is just trying to keep the balls in the air, and then hopefully get to sit down and play some board games and get to meet some people and teach them a little bit about what we do. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Not a lot of people look at LTN or an organization and think that it just like runs, but there's a lot of nitty gritty things that happen in the background, like starting a new nonprofit in another state, and bank accounts and like with that, like, have you ever, listeners, when your like credit card expires and you get a new one and you gotta go like update everything? Like that's what's happening. We got to update all the things, and Kyle is on top of it and making things happen. So super thankful for him.
For the most part,
whatever's in his power, he's doing it.
So
yeah, man. Also, like what you were saying about the shows, and like just, it was good and encouraging to hear you say it about like teaching games. It just, you weren't sure about it, but then you ultimately like enjoyed it. And that was the same for me. I'm an introvert. I remember having a conversation with my speech professor in college, and she was like you could be good at like public speaking and all this stuff. I'm like, I will never teach. I will never speak in front of people. That sounds awful. But like teaching board games is like something completely different, and I do love it too.
It was interesting because I've taught, but like in my circle of people.
Yeah.
And it's like, it never goes well. It's just, but it's like you get in front of strangers and you're just like, all right, we're going to sit down. I'm going to teach this game, and we're just going to have fun with it. And it's like, the points don't matter at the end of the day. It's just learning. And so we just play it. And like most people, like it really got to me when I just remember this one person, she said like, out of all the people that have taught us today, you were the best one. And I was like, nice. Mom, stop it. Like, just
mom,
like,
mom,
like I was just like, okay, like getting that, just like whatever happened for the rest of the day, I was like, okay, like it's gone to my head now. Like I'm in, I want to keep doing it. So
yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, no, I found it encouraging. Like, I'm glad people hear from me all the time. So now they get to listen to you, Kyle.
Seriously, if you're listening, go on a trip. It's so fun. Even if like all you do is teach, afterward, the hangout portion, you do teach more. Because Luke and I taught people how to play Forges up in the Marriott Ballroom in Indianapolis. And you get really cool encounters, which I'm sure, I think Luke shared that encounter on here on your episode.
Probably,
when we played Forges.
Yeah.
And we were playing that game, and that guy was like, well, I'm an atheist, when he asked about, and it was like the wall. And then we just tore the wall down by playing a silly board game. So
yeah, no, it's great. I share that story a lot. We've got a lot of other stories, and you could have stories as well if you come on a trip, like Kyle was saying. So
I did my first trip. Gosh, how long ago was that? A couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, something like that.
Last year? Not really.
Yeah, last year. TantraCon was a blast, and that's what I did. I was in the hot games section teaching games. Loved it. Loved it.
Do.
You're to tell me I have to spend all day playing board games? Oh no. So terrible. It's fantastic. Because people like the people are there, they want to do it. They're not like sitting in front of you begrudgingly, like they're in it. They want this to be happening. So you've got a captive audience that wants to hear what you're saying, and you get to play games and have a good time. And
I mean, case in point, like they do want to be there. Just a little tidbit. There was a year that we went to Gen Con. I didn't go. I went, but not as part of LTN. But Chris Walney went, and his sole purpose was to teach Twilight Imperium.
Oh gosh.
I was like, you're going to spend 6+ hours with the same group of people to teach them this game. And I was like, and I was telling somebody that it was Shane who went on the trip with us at PAX. And he was like, dude, that was the greatest ministry thing he could have ever done.
Yeah.
He was like, do you understand how many people don't want to teach that game to new people because of how in depth it is?
Yeah.
And it's like, that dude was like, here's my 8 hours.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I was like, I never thought of it that way, because I was just like, dude, you're crazy the whole time.
Yeah.
So
it's like that meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Charlie is like with the board, the conspiracy wall. Like that's the rules of Dune Imperium.
So
Yep. Well, Kyle, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy week to come and join us on the show. So thanks for having me. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to wrap this thing up. Listeners, thanks for joining us as well as we just dive into what we've been reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in nerd culture. Join us by sharing what you guys are up to in nerd culture on our Discord or Facebook group. Just do a little Google search. You'll find us. And if you like this episode and haven't checked out other episodes, find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Find us on the YouTubes where we have a video cut where you get to see our beautiful faces. Also, last but not least, if you are interested in, fumbled over my words there. If you're interested in joining us, whether in ministry or on mission, go to our website, lovethynerd.com/partner or lovethynerd.com/outreach, where you can see what our future mission trips are. Like Kyle was talking about, we've got Gamma in a couple weeks. We're full, but that is going on. We have Origins coming up. If you're across the pond and planning to go to UK Games Expo, we could use some help there. So don't hesitate to reach out to me, Luke. Just go to lovethynerd.com/Luke. All my contact information is there, or go sign up on our outreach page. But I appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, I've been your host, Luke.
And I've been Michael.
And that was Kyle. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.